Everybody, Paul Turner here with the discipleproject.net. I want to ask you a question. Do you care what your kids think about the youth ministry? It sounds like a loaded question, doesn't it? Because there's maybe some youth workers out there that they don't really care about what their kids think. They just say, look, show up, it's planned, shut your mouth. There's maybe, but I am super interested in what my kids think about the youth ministry because it's a collective. It's not a program. It's a group of people called the church who, I'm not asking them their opinion about doctrine. I'm not asking their opinion about is the Bible true or not. I'm asking about the program because the programming is something that's not something I always have to be in control of. Like, here's my plan and here's my thing. It's a collective. It's people adding value in, and that's why I care about what these students think. And so I'm doing an end of the year review, and I wanted to share those review questions with you because you might be able to use it for your youth ministry. I hope that you can. It's not necessarily end of year, by the way. It's also mid-year, something you may want to do in the middle of the year or by quarter. And so review questions are super important to the programming and planning process, and I want to give them to you if I can. I'm not going to read like a bunch of my answers because I've already done it with mine. Let me tell you this, though. I did choose to do it the review questions with Sunday school. Now, Sunday school, we have a pretty awesome Sunday school class, I got to say. It's probably one of the, next to Wednesday nights or midweek, it's the best attended program that we have because we get together, we're praying for one another, really digging into the Word. It's good stuff. And so I trust their opinion. A lot of those kids are core kids, and I trust them. And so when I'm looking at the review process, I'm getting opinions of kids who aren't just, kids that are out there somewhere that don't care anything about the program. I'm listening to kids who really do care about the program, care about one another, even care about me, which is kind of awesome. So who you give that review to, you can do it on a Wednesday night. Just remember who you're giving it to. So maybe you want to do it separately. Have some for Wednesday night kids, have some for your core kids. Just that way you know which way, which group is answering those questions. And also, I chose not to put names. I say, look, just don't put your name on it. Doesn't matter. I'll know based on, what I'm reading here. It's more important, like I said, you can put your name on it if there's something very specific you want me to know and you want me to have a dialogue with you, then that's going to be super important. But let me give you the 9 questions, and it could actually be broken down into 10 if you wanted to separate them because these questions go in 2 parts. I will point this out before I get into the questions, that I was super hesitant to do it on paper, right? Because you say, well, we can do a survey, we can do all that stuff, but I really wanted to do it like this because I wanted the feedback and I wanted them to think through it. The deal was that my own hesitancy was that, they're going to say, it's too much like school and so forth. I just said, look, I give up on that. I just want them to do it. And I did hear from kids, when they were doing it, saying, Paul, this is so hard. You're making us think. You're making us think. And I know, I'm making you think. It was terrible, right? That's what, discipleship is, reviewing, reflecting upon life. I want you guys to go into next year better than you did this year. And so all that being said, let me give you the 9 questions. By the way, let me throw this out here. I'm going to be putting some stuff out to my subscribers. So if you're interested in this sheet as it is, you can sit here and take notes and take the questions. That's good. Or you can sign up for the Fresh Impact newsletter that I have at thediscipleproject.net under resources. You sign up there and you get the stuff in your email. So there'll be other things as well. So you want to. All right, question number 1. What was your favorite event this year? And that's a simple question. You're not asking, to get too deep into detail or how can we improve this event? That's something you maybe want to take up with your leaders, things like that. But I tend to ask questions on the fly in the midst of what's happening. How can we make this better versus doing just a complete end of the year review type of thing and ask questions. But you kind of know some of these answers. Some of these surprised me. But what was your favorite event? There was something that surprised me. Yes, there was youth camp. Yes, there was the mission trip. But there was also this little event, just a hayride, the youth hayride. I took a bunch of kids out for a hayride out on a farm, and it was just an epic fun time. We ate together. We did the hayride. We did, a bunch of cows out there. Got out and petted the cows. It was fun, and there were some kids who really enjoyed that. So now I know. Put that on the list for next year. Second was, what was the high point in your faith last year, and what was your low point? Where were you up here and where were you down here? And maybe as a youth pastor, you might be thinking, well, they'll say camp maybe. And yes, camp was a part of that. And most people couldn't point out their low point. But the question is worth being asked. Because there could be other times. There could be, a high point in my faith is when I received Christ. The high point in my faith is when I got baptized. My high point was when my dad got saved. There's all kinds of things. We can't make assumptions on that. We should really take a look at, listening to what they're going to say, not assume what they're going to say. Okay, next question. How did this youth ministry help you grow in your faith this past year? Now, I'm asking them from a collective point of view. What is it about this youth ministry? How did this youth ministry help you grow versus other youth groups you've visited, other than, past experiences you may have had? I want to know how this youth ministry, and they may, I give them an opportunity to mention other leaders or certain experiences they may have had in the youth ministry, like communion or baptism or something like that. But I wanted to know specifically how this youth ministry has helped you this year. And a lot of the responses I got were about being supportive, about the friendships made. And those are all important things. Those are critically important. That's worth asking the question, because you want to know what your youth ministry, the thing that you have created here to some degree, the format and all that stuff. What have you done here that makes it special to these kids? So fourth question is, how can I help you grow in your faith life coming this year? Now, a lot of this will help you as a youth worker because you're going to program planned messages, all those kind of things, and this kind of information is going to help you. Yeah, there's some things in here that are going to help me because I want to help them. I want to help them grow. Why would I do this and then ignore it? I want them to know that this means something, that they filled it out for a reason, and I'm actually going to do something about it. So I have various things on here, about things that they want to grow in their faith. They want to pray more. They want to read their Bible more. They want to share their faith more. Some people said, I want to be a leader more. All things that I'm going to help them do. The fifth question is, how can I improve on being a better leader, youth pastor to you in the coming year? Now that, folks, dangerous question, right? Because this is where the criticism can sneak in and get you. Now, I am blessed that I did not receive a ton of negative comments. Now, this is my core group, right? This is people that I know, hang with, go on mission trips with. They're awesome people. They know me. I know them. Now, if you do this with kids who don't know you very well, you might get some criticism. But we need to ask the question because we need to know, are we spending enough time connecting with them? Have we taken a bunch of kids out to lunch that we need to take out of? Or have we let some kids slip through the cracks? And that's super important. We have to be able to answer that question. We have to be able to say, how can we improve being your leader, being your youth pastor in the coming year? The sixth question is, how would you like to see this youth ministry change over the next year? Now, also a critical question because that's going to come into play when you're programming things. How would you like to say, well, example, a lot of people say, I want the youth ministry to grow. Well, that's not going to happen by accident. That's going to require participation on your part to do that. So I'm going to push back and challenge them and say, okay, here's how you can be a part of that. It's not just going to happen because I get up and say, hey, we're going to do this thing. You've got to be a part of the solution, right? And so we've got to be able to put that out to them and say, what do you want to do this year? What are your hopes? What do you want to see as us as a church, as a youth ministry? They say things like, grow closer together. Grow in population and do more outreach. There's lots of good answers in there, both on a macro level and a micro level. So the eighth question would be is this. How would you like, it says, what skills or spiritual disciplines would you like to learn this year? And there's everything from I want to move closer to Jesus to I want to be a better leader to I want to learn how to read my Bible better, all kinds of things like that. And you want to pack that in intentionally into your program so the kids know you're listening. Because I'll refer to the review, I'll review to these and say, hey, you guys said some of you wanted to do this. I know it's smaller, but everybody needs that to some degree, don't they? They need to be able to do that. The ninth question is this: Did you set any spiritual or otherwise goals this year? Did you meet them? Why or why not? We want to know: did they pass or fail in their eyes? Did they read their Bible every day? Did they what were your goals and did you accomplish them? And what is going to help you? What is going to help you this next year meet the goals that you want to meet? And how can we? As a youth ministry, and how can I as a youth pastor help you accomplish that? And the last question is, it's two-part as well. Well, it's three-part actually. Do you have any goals for this year? What are they, and how can I help you achieve them? Critical question, because you're gonna want to know what their goals are, and if there's a way to help them, you want to be able to help them. You want to know if it's spiritual, if it's something else, and that's where it got down to whether they put their name on this or not. If it's something they want me personally to help them with, and hopefully I'll find that out from them. I may just say in a meeting, hey, one of you guys put on here that you wanted to do X here. You wanted to do some goal here. Let me see what we have here. Do you have any goals for this year? There wasn't a ton of goals. I will say this: be to prioritize better. So, okay, I'll say, listen, in the meeting, I'll say, listen, some of you who filled out these things said you want to prioritize better. Meet me after service. I think I have an article, or I think I have a link, or I think I have something for you that will help you do that. And that person will come up randomly, and nobody has to know who they are, and they'll just say, hey, this was me, and I want to be able to do that. Okay? And then the very last thing on the page is comments, right? It's an open-ended invitation to dialogue and say, what would you like to say to me? What would you like to say about anything? And once again, there were some great comments. There were some good things there. And they, somebody just wrote, hello, Paul. Hello. That was their comment. So, hopefully what this session has done for you is take a little bit of the sting out and the fear maybe out of doing a review with your kids, whether it's a small group or a big group, it doesn't matter. You're doing this review process because you're telling students, I care about you, I care about your goals, I care about where you're at in your relationship with God, I care about us as a youth ministry and a church, and so don't freak out over it, right? Just go do it with them and get the feedback, take the licks if you're going to take them, and then go back and say, you know what, I totally blew that. I blew that with that. Let's look at it and say, you know what, I didn't connect. There's some things I didn't do, and there's some things I can get better at. And so I'm always pushing that envelope. I'm always trying to push that for myself to say, look, I can be better at meeting kids' needs. I can be better at listening. I can be better at those things, and you can be better at those things too. It's just that simple. It's a decision we make. We want to be good at it, so we're going to get better at it. We're going to go and do it. But that is it today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this youth ministry hack here that I've offered you today of simply doing some review questions with your students. Now, I'm going to be putting some more stuff out. I'm going to be sending some stuff off to the Fresh Impact newsletter, folks, so I hope that you're going to sign up for that. If you have any questions about the review process, or you've done a review process and you want to put some questions down there that you add into your review process, I'd love to hear from you. So that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. If you're brand spanking new, by the way, thank you so much for hanging. Appreciate you guys being here. If you want videos like this in your inbox on a regular basis, by the way, at the end of the video, it's going to have my face in a circle. Click on that, and that will get videos. You'll be subscribed to the channel. But also just double check, because some of you maybe are not getting these videos. Be sure to click on that little bell right next to the subscribe word, because you can click that, and then in the notification it says notify me when these videos are up. And if you want to know when these videos are up, you're going to have to click that little box in there. But that is it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope that you've had a great year with your students, and I pray that 2017, or whatever year you may be in when you're watching this, that your next quarter, semester, half year, next year, whatever that is with your students, I hope that something like this will put you in the right place to be able to start making those decisions and doing great things with your students. So blessings on you guys. Have a great one, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk to you later. Bye.